Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, December the 30th, 2019. I am Barvin Olver with the details. A number of policemen and women were recognized for their work at the annual Police Awards and retirement dinner held last Friday evening at the Russell's Auditorium. As we hear in this report by Larissa Pugsy-Kidd, the police officers who were applauded for their work in fighting crime and keeping the nation safe were told they have much to look forward to in the coming years.
Police Constable 191 Glendon David and Sergeant of Police 593 Carla Tim have been awarded coveted titles of Policeman and Policewoman of the Year. Receiving the Commissioner of Police Award for Bravery was Leaded Seaman Peter Morris. The Sportsman of the Year was awarded to Desron Maloney and Sportswoman of the Year Corporal 108 Oliver. Every police station has a most outstanding police officer this year who all received certificates. Police Commissioner Colin John lauded the work of the police officers who he said have served the country well despite some negativity brought on by some of their colleagues.
Unfavorable commentaries about the organization in the last couple of weeks. They came about, we faced it head on, we took it on the chin. We allow the authorities to do what they have to do. The matters are before the court. I will not comment on it further. And even more so, this is not an event to dwell on the negative. This is an event to accentuate the positives. And that's what I'm doing tonight. So I just want to say, despite of these negatives, we have had a lot of positives throughout the year 2019 and before, and I just want for us to concentrate on all these positives.
Chairman of the Police Service Commission Cecil Blazer Williams delivered a feature address at the awards ceremony. Williams noted the change in times which police officers have to keep up with, including technology, which he believes should be utilized more. He also suggested that the prisons and police force work more closely to yield positive outcomes for the betterment of all involved.
Make this a collective effort, that the police force and the prison system operate in such a way that we can prevent people from continuing criminal activity. And so this is why when I talk about the change in role of the police service, that these are issues which confront us.
Also addressing the police officers at the award ceremony was outgoing chairman of the Police Welfare Division, Station Sergeant Brenton Smith. Smith reflected on the accomplishments and improvements that were made for police officers during his tenure. However, he said that there is still more that must be done to improve the lives of policemen and women in SVG.
Police stations. So we made the decision to have the police officers relocated to a building at Mission Corner until the main station was repaired. He indicated that the police and BAT cannot live together. And for understanding and entering our feelings, I say thank you, Sir Louis. However, today, some stations are still experiencing the same. We must correct those.
This year's Police Awards and Retirement Dinner was held under the theme, rewarding the outstanding while motivating the aspiring. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsy-Kidd.
There were 5,258 reported crimes in SVG this year, which is a 9% decrease compared to last year's figures. Statistics show that the police station that had a significant decrease in reported crimes is at Cattell's, which had a 48% reduction. This was followed by the Georgetown Police Station with 301 in 2018 to 231 this year. At the Central Police Station in Capital Kingstown, there was a 10% reduction, with 2,032 reported crimes in 2018 to 1,832 this year. Speaking on the decrease in crimes at the Police Awards ceremony last Friday, Commissioner John said the majority of the police stations and divisions recorded a decrease for the year.
We had 2,403 crimes last year in the Central Division. We have 2,113 for this year. For the South Central Division, which is the Calicut district and the district that covers most of the medical colleges and what we regard as the hotel and tourism belt. We have, in 2017, we had 1,429 crimes reported. In 2015, 1,520, and in 2018, 1,520, and in 2019, 1,442. For that, in Calico district, we had, in 2017, 711 crimes. In 2018, 650. For the year so far, we have 620. So we have seen a decrease in Calico district.
There was, however, an increase in the number of reported cases of rape this year over last year, as well as incest, with the majority being reported at the Central Police Station in Kingstown. In relation to murder, there has been a decrease by 44%, and according to the police commissioner, it was due to the hard work of his officers.
Last year, well, in 2017, we had 40 murders. In 2018, we had 34. This year, we have 19 murders. And I just want to applaud the members of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force for the hard work that they're doing. The reduction in crime can be attributed to the hard work, the dedication, the loyalty, and the proactive policing that we are employing in the organization. And once again, to the members of the organization, I'm saying thank you.
Commissioner John said that the training received locally and regionally was also a contributing factor for the decrease in the crime in the country for the year.
It can also be attributed to the level of training that we are receiving. We have benefited from training from local bodies, regional bodies such as the Regional Security System, CARICOM Impacts, also some international bodies such as Interpol, and we have benefited from more training where we can, a facility where we can train more persons. The US, they have sponsored a piece of equipment, and we are able to conduct online training. So we train like 20, 30 persons one time by virtual network, so that each person, a lot more persons can receive training simultaneously.
The Child Justice Bill 2019 envisions the creative ambition of the people of SVG to protect the rights of a child, as well as adhering to the important principles of natural justice. So said Minister of Agriculture, Industry and Labour, Sobota Caesar, during his contribution to the debate on the bill which was passed in Parliament last Friday. Minister Caesar said the nation's children are the future, and as such, all must be done to protect them. He thanked the Ministry of National Mobilization for its work in drafting the bill and believes the end result, which is its adoption into law, is a clear indication of the nation's desire to protect children and their rights, including those in conflict with the law.
I really want to congratulate the hard-working minister, the representative and member for South Windward, and his ministry for taking the time off during the last 5-6 years to ensure that the framework and the structures for the protection of the child and the family, that framework was not only cast on the shelves in the libraries in the ministry, but they traversed the length and breadth of the country, spoke to stakeholders. It's a very detailed job, Mr. Speaker. Went into the schools, spoke to the churches. And what we have here is basically a document which envelops the creative ambitions of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to protect the rights of the child.
Sharing a memory of his childhood and using some jargon to express his views, Minister Caesar said a child was traditionally seen as not having a voice, and the provision of the new law are important in this regard, as it allows a child to respond before decision can be taken which can affect his or her life.
As the Honourable Member for East St. George just noted, when big people are talking, little children can't be wrong, as they say, small donkey have big ears. All these types of jargons evolved in our society. And what it does here, it says, a child shall as far as possible be given an opportunity to respond before any decision is taken which affects the child. Allowing the child, very important natural justice principles, basically the right to be heard.
Equal treatment under the law is a crucial aspect of justice, and Minister Caesar highlighted sections of the law which he said will ensure of this.
H, a child lacking in family support, educational or employment opportunities shall have access to available services. And I'm very happy that the Honourable Member for North Central Windward and the Honourable Prime Minister outlined that there will be a cost attached to the operationalization of this piece of legislation. And in I, it says, every effort shall be made to ensure that children receive equal treatment to other children when having committed similar offenses. A very important and fundamental point of equality and non-discrimination. This bill definitely addresses important issues of protection, rehabilitation.
The government will be making concrete steps to make tax collection and administration more efficient. So says Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camilo Gonzalez during his presentation in Parliament last Friday on the Tax Administration Bill 2019. Minister Gonzalez said the bill will simplify, harmonize and modernize the rules relating to the assessment and collection of taxes in SVG. He said it also serves to coordinate and bring together provisions which deal with tax administration and procedures under one legislation to align the administration of different taxes as much as possible.
We have historically passed a series of tax laws at different times, sometimes drafted by different model drafters, sometimes reflecting different collection philosophies. So there have been some inconsistencies, and there's been a bit of a labyrinth for the taxpayer to navigate, to understand what their rights and responsibilities may be and what their rights and responsibilities and obligations of the tax collection agency should be. So this bill would apply procedurally in an administrative standpoint to the Value-Added Tax Act, the Excise Tax Act, the Income Tax Act, the Valuation and Rating Act, the Provisional Collection of Taxes Act, the Stamp Act, and the Insurance Business Tax Act. And it seeks to appropriately balance the powers given to the Inland Revenue Department with the rights and obligations of taxpayers.
Minister Gonzalez said the previous tax law were difficult for the average person to understand and believes the new legislation can make it easier for persons to know their rights and responsibilities.
In the view of the tax administration services, the proposed legislation is modernized, it's streamlined, and being in a single document, logically laid out, it's more accessible to the taxpayer, because hitherto you could say that the current tax administration and procedure rules are fairly complex. sometimes arcane, because you have to read various acts against one another to find out where your particular dispute or issue may lie. Tax administrators are required to know the administration and procedural details of all aspects of various tax legislation, leading to inefficiencies of administration and enforcement. Because the new legislation adds consistency in approach and practice, it should facilitate fairness in the treatment of taxpayers and efficiencies in the design of tax administration practices. Further, having a single legislation governing tax administration and procedure for all relevant tax types would bring an ease of undertaking on the part of the taxpayer, who is required to be informed of his or her rights and responsibilities under the law.
Enforcement is an area of concern, and Minister Gonzalez highlighted some of the provisions which will assist in this regard.
The bill would provide the comptroller with the additional option of creating liens against property belonging to defaulting taxpayers for the recovery of amounts owing to the comptroller. Prior to this bill, the option to create liens did not exist within any of the applicable tax laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Further, the bill would enable the Accountant General to make payments to the Inland Revenue Department on account of a defaulting taxpayer to whom payments are to be made from the state. Under the present Act, the comptroller can issue garnishee orders to any person who holds money on account of a defaulting taxpayer, which includes the Accountant General. However, the Accountant General's power to offset payments against taxpayers' liability is strengthened and clarified in this particular piece of legislation.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves advises small business operators to ensure that they keep proper records relating to their taxes. The Prime Minister said while the new tax law will make it easier for persons to understand the rules relating to taxes, businesses must be proactive.
And I'm appealing to the small contractors. I'm appealing to the small businessman and woman. Please keep your books in reasonable order. Get somebody to come in and put them in good shape and get them to the taxman, and do it on an annual basis, because the taxman can go back 6 years and you can't find your information, you don't have receipts for this, you don't have for that, and so on and so forth. So this is a piece of advice that I will give.
PM Gonzalez said collecting taxes from businesses with cross-border activities is an issue of concern. However, there has been some good news in this area.
The Income Tax Department has gone after an area of real difficulty, and we have changed the law in that regard last year, where we seek to businesses with cross-border activities, they can hide a lot of income, and we have to be alive and alert to how they can try and hide that, to lessen the extent of their taxes. That is something which we have addressed, and we have collected some arrears for those.
The Prime Minister further noted that though they have been making progress in relation to tax collection, stakeholders must remain vigilant to ensure all pay their fair share of tax.
And don't for 1 minute believe that all the cards are in the hands of the tax collector. It may appear so, but I tell you, some ruses have been used which provide real problems. But we have to represent everybody, and we have to make sure that those who pay their fair share should not be overburdened by those who are not paying their fair share. So this law which we are passing here is about fairness, about efficiency, about transparency. I'm not saying we are going to get it 100% right, but it's an improvement upon what we have at the moment.